Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Speedify Live office hours once again. I am your host, Alex. This is our Chief Technology Officer, Brian Purdell. Great the operation. So cool. So what is office hours? This is your chance to talk to us, the people who make and run Speedify, and hit us with whatever questions you've got. So if you haven't already, you should follow us. You should like. You should subscribe. We're not charging any money or whatever. We're just here telling you whatever you want to hear. So like it. If you're on YouTube, you gotta hit the little bell. Yeah, do so. So I've got a question for you guys. Was anyone out there affected by the AT&T outage? AT&T was down for a day. I have AT&T. I was not affected until after they announced everything was fixed and was back, and then I went an hour with no internet. That's just typical. Did it hit any of you guys? Did it affect you? Speedify help? We want to hear about it. Also, after this, we are going to be launching yet another video on our YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, stay on our channel when this video ends. If you're not, as soon as this video is over, pop over to our YouTube channel. It's Speedify on YouTube. And yes, so the video is about dedicated servers. We go all through the special features that come with these servers and why you would want to pay us extra to get a server that only you can use. Kind of awesome. So that's that. Now I'm going to start answering all your questions in a minute. I just got one or two more things to say. So if you have questions, you post them in the comments, and then I'll click on them and they'll appear. Tomorrow, 29th of February, a very rare day, is Rare Disease Day. So our friends at UFD Tech are, as usual, taking lead on some money raising here. So they've sent us some really cool coffee stuff. Rare Brew Coffee Company. Whoa. And let's see what else we got here. And the Advocate Blend, they've sent us coffee. I don't think we've brewed it yet. Oh my God. I'm going to steal this spoon. Leave the other stuff at the office. This is mine. So this year they're doing Coffee for a Cure. They partnered with Rare Brew Coffee Company that makes awesome coffee. And each purchase of the coffee helps provide a better future for families affected by the SYNGAP1 disease. It's a rare disease, and it would be great if we could do something about it. So they also gave us a discount code to give to you guys. So the URL's there for Rare Brew Coffee. The discount code is Speedify10. Speedify10 gets you 10% off any coffee you purchase. The stuff will apparently ship tomorrow. If you buy today or tomorrow, it'll go out tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, they're saying that if you go to the website, it says they're pre-orders because they don't really ship until Rare Disease Day. But that is tomorrow. So don't worry about that. Go order Speedify10 at rarebrewcoffee.com. It's a good cause. Oh, there's a pin. I missed that. Nice, the little tiny zebra. Oh, look at that guy. All right. I've got a hat. I put all these pins on. When I wear it, my family leaves me alone because they don't want to be seen with me. So, favorite hat. All right. So, questions from the audience. So let's see. Have any shown up now? All right. Got people talking about how it's a rainy day and people saying hi. Okay. People in Tokyo are not affected by AT&T going down. That's good. All right. Coyote Express says, hi, folks. Sorry, no coffee for me and the dachshunds. Yeah. Definitely not for the dachshunds. All right, today we are in Denver, Colorado. All right. Uh-oh. We got an unhappy person.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't avoid it. VM Live says, hi, Speedify. I was so disappointed with Speedify yesterday during a funeral stream. Speedify failed to combine 3 networks, but one network was streaming without connecting to the VPN. Anyway, Speedify love. Can you please send logs? Yeah. From the menu. Boop. You can go to the menu here, click, scroll down, generate logs. If you could give us any other hints, about what time you were streaming, it showed you an error message. The log should tell us a lot. Yeah, log should tell us a lot, and we will investigate because it sounds like something we should have nailed. And I'm sorry if we let you down. But let's see what happened. So send us logs, and we will get right on that. All right. Toru asks, where can I place an order for Speedify t-shirt? We had a meeting about that earlier this week, but I tuned out. I think there might be some Speedify swag coming in the relatively near future. I'm sure we'll follow up. I'll definitely be announcing that the second we have swag for sale. There's definitely people working on a swag shop or something. Right, Speedify Babs definitely getting a bag. Rare brew coffee. The aroma is amazing along with the great cause. Yeah, she's on the other side of the door there. This is good smelling stuff. It's hello, been lurking for a bit. Is there any way to bond more than 3 connections at one time? For example, Verizon data hotspot, AT&T data spot. So Speedify. Well, do you want to answer this?
Sure, I can answer this. So a lot of this depends on the platform. And so the easiest situation to be in is if you have a Windows laptop or desktop. It's by far the most flexible as far as just you have a device, it has a USB cord, you plug it into a Windows machine, and it's there. Or you go on Amazon and you buy some extra Wi-Fi dongles and you plug them in, and now the network connection Wi-Fi thing has 5 Wi-Fi connections like that. Windows is the most flexible. So if you want to add a bunch of Wi-Fi or a bunch of just tethered phones, Windows is actually pretty good at that. Linux is also really flexible, but you end up having weird things where, oh, that's your type of phone, then you need to install this weird driver, and then the USB tethered sometimes just doesn't work, whatever. Linux is pretty flexible, and as far as Wi-Fi support, pretty good. So it's the second place, I would say, as far as just ease of plugging something in and having it work. Mac gets tougher. I mean, you can have the really USB Wi-Fi story on Mac right now is terrible. You can have
non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah, pretty much. If you have an Intel Mac that can still run a modern OS, you can kind of get something. So it's pretty non-existent on modern Macs though. But you can still have tethered phone, Ethernet, Wi-Fi. I mean, the USB story is not bad, so you can still combine more than 3 if you get creative with a Mac. And then on Android and iOS, it's tough. We have a video, I think, of the iPad with the USB 3 camera cord connector. I think we actually had like 10 or 12 connections with an iPad because we just kept plugging in Ethernet dongles and things to the USB 3 camera connector. So that actually works. So if you have like a USB-C iPad or a USB-C phone, you can get creative that way too.
All right. There's also parent share, actually. Let me just go back.
Yeah, of course.
Parent share. So new feature, if you're all on the same Wi-Fi network and you're all running Speedify, you can, over the Wi-Fi, let other devices use your cellular. So if you have 3 cell phones 4 cell phones on the same Wi-Fi network, then one of the cell phones can use the other 3s, so you can have that many. The data goes over the Wi-Fi to the other phone, but then sends it out cellular. It works. It's pretty cool. So pair and share. Try that. All right. How does automatic server feature work? If you're in a car, does it just know the best one? How does it geolocate? Not matter.
So we won't change you from server to server. I mean, if you're already connected, let's say you start out here in Philly, you're connected to a server in New York, you get on a long car ride down to Miami. We're not going to cut you over to a server in Virginia as you get closer to it. We're not going to disconnect you. We'll leave you connected. But anytime that you need to establish a new connection, if you're set to pick the fastest server, we do a little bit of a dance where we look at your IP address and figure out, where is that probably, and then from there we'll kind of narrow down to a few cities, and then we actually do latency tests to those cities, and we try to figure out, which city is actually closer, and then within that city, which data center. We have a lot of times where we have multiple data centers in the same city. Which one of those looks best to you? And then from there, we narrow it down further and get you to an actual specific server that you should establish a connection to. And so, that sort of theoretical car ride where you jump in and you go to Miami. Next time you need to connect to a server and you're in Miami, it should connect you over there.
Nice. Thank you. All right. Toru says, baseball season will start soon, and I am going to use Speedify with 4 LTE lines from 3 carriers to stream those games.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, should be good. As different carriers, combining different carriers works much better than combining the same most of the time. A lot of times the bottleneck will be like right there in the tower. Two phones connect the same tower, you can get stuck. But sometimes it works. So to whatever extent you can easily get some separation between the modems, probably pays off. If you try to stack them all on a table, might not work out so great. Start getting weird near field effects and things like that.
Yeah, we've certainly seen times where you go in with 3 different carriers and you look and one is just clearly better than the other ones. And it's like, why am I even bothering with the other ones? And then an hour later, that one's terrible and one of the other ones is good. It's like, oh, okay, there you go. It's kind of that. Having that diversity helps a lot because there's, at any given moment, there might be one clear winner, but it's probably going to change over the course of the game. So that having that diversity would be awesome.
Oh, cool. I don't know why I thought Speedify just knew my location. Here I'm not tracking your location. But we have you hit a couple different servers and we can tell which one closest to you. So not exactly from Wi-Fi data.
Nope.
But we reach out to connect to a couple of our servers. That tends to reveal at least ballpark. I mean, we don't care. We don't want to know if you're at home or school or
exactly.
your girlfriends. I mean, it's more state by state, region by region. We only carry you closer to North Virginia or New York. We don't really record it. We don't want to know. Toru says, I had no tech issues on Speedify so far. Thank you. I hope more streamers in Japan use your services. I do too. We know there are at least a couple already. Maybe a year ago, I did a bunch of interviews with, a couple guys who were gaming in Japan and walking around shopping in Japan at one point. Perhaps still is. Popular thing to do for live streams, right? I mean, it's crazy. As an American, just watching a guy walk around Tokyo and talk to people and go into stores and look at the items for sale is like very cool. So I've sat and watched a bunch of those streams. So there are people who are definitely streaming Speedify in Japan. We recently added Japanese support. Quietly with no fanfare. Tell us what you think. If there are any mistakes, anything translated wrong, you should tell us. We sort of put it out without an announcement. We can see some people are using it, but not really getting a whole lot of feedback. So that means wonderful. Does that mean everyone's switching back to English? I don't know. How does it dynamically allocate traffic among different lines? It being Speedify.
Yeah. So, so yeah, Speedify. I mean, it's taking a big step back. I mean, it's a VPN that we wrote from the ground up to be the best VPN for mobile, meaning that we know you're going to have multiple internet connections, and they're probably not always going to be great. And so Speedify does its best to be able to measure the sort of the performance of whatever connections you have available and use them to get the best combined speed and reliability. So we add a bunch of information to each packet that we send across, and we do it all in a pretty small number of bytes, but we get timing information and we get enough information there that we can kind of decide, is this interface starting to lose packets, or is it starting to get slower? I mean, is latency building up over this connection? Those sort of indicators that let us know that we're probably pushing as much as we can over that connection. We should lay off a little bit. Or we keep pushing more packets over and latency is not building and loss isn't building. We can keep shoving more data over there. So it's a really dynamic system that packet by packet can look at the available connections and any indicators that any of them are sort of reaching capacity, and it can decide which connection should this packet go over.
All right. Dean asks, when my computer or phone is inactive and I am connected to Speedify, do I continue to send keep alive packets or similar that uses data?
So we do a lot to let your phone go to sleep, to deep sleep. So letting cellular radio sleep, letting the Wi-Fi radio sleep. We really try to be good citizens there so that we have the lowest impact on battery as possible. And so, yeah, I mean, keeping that stuff, constant connection between the device and the server, you'd notice that over the course of the day, if you just leave your phone at your desk, with the screen off or something, if we're keeping those networks awake, that's a really noticeable thing. So in general, no. I mean, especially if we see that the device is asleep, there's not much traffic going on, we will do everything we can so that phone can actually enter a deep sleep.
Yeah, when we first started, we thought, we can't make the right decision unless we know exactly how good you're. So we would start by when making a connection, do a little speed test. And if you weren't using it, we'd send some test keep alive packets so we'd know the latency and know if it disconnected. But we were eating a lot of battery. And the giant insight is that if you don't have any data to send and you're not downloading anything, then it doesn't matter whether we know anything about your internet. So that realization that if you're not active, we can just stop sending things and not know how fast the internet is. And it's fine because it saves you battery. And the moment you start clicking on links and downloading things, there'll be such a flurry of packets, since we add timing info to every packet you send, that we'll know what we need to know by the time your streams ramp up, right? We do our stats that fast. That as your download ramps up, our stats ramp up at the same speed until, by the time you're hitting max speed, we're at max speed. So, just had to let go and accept that we weren't going to know everything. Do I need at least 2 megabits to run 1080p in Speedify? I think you need more than that. That's not really because of Speedify, right? So Speedify will let you put together a couple slower connections to get up towards a higher speed. But 2 megabits sounds very bottom of 720p, top of 480p. I think you're looking for numbers more like 6 or 10 megabits to do 1080p well.
Yep.
Personally, I do not need local language support, but it is kind of must-have to provide tech support in Japanese, at least to ramp up your business.
Interesting. Good.
All right, cool. have my Airbnb listing near Narita Airport, and I am happy to host you next time. All right.
Right.
I goes to Japan. Speedify. We have gone to Japan, but not for so long. Yeah, I don't know. Was it 2010 was the last time I've been in Japan? Something like that. You know, it stinks. I had this passport. I went to England, Canada, France, Germany, India, China, Japan, and then I lost the passport. And like that was going to be a keepsake for the rest of my life. Like, and I can't find it. I came back from Germany and I had it, and I went back to my house and I never saw it again. I had to get back into the country. It was just full of visas and stamps. And every cool country I'd ever been to was in that one passport.
Do it again.
Got to do it again. Sounds exhausting. So, yeah. I am so sad about this. Ripped apart my basement like 4 times. I've probably spent 30 hours looking for this passport. It's gone. Oh well, life is hard. So again, just popping back to it, it is Rare Disease Day. And we're working with the good people at UFD Tech and Rare Brew Coffee. Rare Brew Coffee, awesome stuff. So if you go to rarebrewcoffee.com, got this code, Speedify10, gets you 10% off. And a substantial amount of money then it is given to help fight the rare disease in Gap 1. Rare Disease Day. So it's a good cause. Got a coupon code here. Order today, they will ship tomorrow. And it is a nice thing for you to do. All right. This week only, not only, but not every week. We're also going to do one of these Friday at 10 a.m. You again, right?
See you again.
Me? Yeah, all right. Awesome sauce. 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 hours earlier than this stream, whatever that is in your time zone, on Friday, 2 days from now. We realize different people are in different time zones. People in Japan, this is probably not a terribly convenient time. 4 hours earlier, better? I don't know, but at least I took another stab at it. All right. To keep the chat alive, have you ever been court ordered to release usage data to the courts? We have a data retention policy, which is that we don't keep much data and we don't keep it very long. So on occasion, we are contacted by the police, the courts, and they ask us what data we have, and we tell them. And I believe just about that exception, they say, well, thanks for responding, but that doesn't sound
right. Just to be clear, we kind of lay out the schema when you say what data we have. It's like, these are the sort of events we have for the last 14 days. And they're like,
yeah, I mean, we don't know what apps you're using. We don't know what sites you're visiting. Don't know what DNS requests you make. Yeah. But so we're helpful. We're law-abiding citizens. We respond, and we just don't keep a whole lot of data. So, this looks like a pretty good table. Here's my rule of thumb: 3 megabits per second minimum for 720p, 4.5 megabits minimum for 1080p at 30 frames per second, or 720p at 60 frames per second, and 6 megabits for 1080p. That sounds right. Right? Yeah. More bandwidth, all these things get better. Video encoders discover they can encode more colors and things just sort of quietly, and things better, get more details. That is a pretty good table. Apple couldn't unlock a criminal's phone or something. Yeah, and there's a whole story about that, right? The Apple people apparently really felt betrayed by the FBI because they don't know why the FBI dragged that to the news. Apple gave them access to everything in the user's iCloud account. Right, there couldn't have been much on the phone besides what was in the iCloud account, and so why the FBI dragged them on that? Apparently, there's really bitter feelings. Toro says, numbers shown above are settings specified on OBS. Use 2 LTE lines for securing 3 megabits per second minimum bandwidth, 3 lines for 4.5 megabits, 4 lines for 6. Is that 3G? Are you combining different 3G connections? Lines.
I mean, with the variability of 4G, even that's like a good safe.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
safe
As far as
ballpark.
how much you can trust it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Trusting 4G for a couple megs. That sounds good.
So rumor has there's a new release of Speedify coming.
There is 14.6 is coming this week. So we are testing the release candidate of it now. Another big round of improvement fixes and bug fixes. I think looking at the stats of 14.5.3, which was the last release, it looks like it is our least crashy release ever. I mean, the numbers are so minuscule, but we're down in the 0.001. Like, we're getting down to about as close to zero as we can get, I feel like.
Well, and of all the crashes that happened, except for that, there's a nasty one on Android 9 devices with some particular graphics chip. But outside of that one, it looks like we fixed all of them.
Yeah.
I regret saying that, but we'll see. The other thing is the SSO stuff.
Yep. So we have been working for a long time now on improving our authentication system around Speedify. I know right now, basically any device that's using your Speedify account is storing your username and password for Speedify, meaning that if you want to change your password or something, it essentially kicks off all your devices. It's kind of there's things that are painful about it. So 14.6 should launch with a new system where you can activate your devices with your account. So then the devices will get a token. And so you will be able to go into my.speedify.com and see all of the devices that you have active and when they were last connected and revoke access to individual devices. Should be really nice. So
It's really nice. Yeah, so log in with Google, log in with Apple. Wow, it just works.
Yep.
If it tells you you're using too many devices, you can go look what the devices are. Yes, that whole story is massively improved. Anything else? There's a lot of invisible changes this release, other than the login screens being completely different. So that's good. All right. All right. Again, this Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. So 4 hours earlier. This time we will be doing another one of these. It'll be Brian and I again. Bring your questions. Perhaps 14.6 will be out then. If not, hopefully it'll just be hours away from release. Right after the stream ends, stay on our YouTube channel or go to our YouTube channel. I see the link is there in the comments. New video coming out, explains dedicated servers. Check it out. Should be good. Finally, so first of all, it's Rare Disease Day. Doing Coffee for a Cure with UFD Tech. Partnered with Rare Brew Coffee, fighting SynGap, SynGap 1. So use coupon Speedify10 over at does QR code work for you guys? rarebrewcoffee.com. All right. Let's see if that works. That would be awesome. All right, Toro. I use 4G lines. I can get up to 10 megabits per second per line if the line works well. But it goes down as low as 1.5 megabits. All right. Yeah, we'll be back on Friday, so bring your questions. We'll have seen your logs by then. Although, probably will be going back and forth with you on email. Make sure you send those logs. We really do want help. Anything else to add before we call it a stream?
I think so. YouTube video.
We answered everyone's questions. Yeah, check out the YouTube video. It's gonna be awesome. I think that's it. So thank you, everybody.
See you Friday.
Online.
See you
Yes,
Friday.